Trump has won 370 electoral votes, got all basically majority of the damn swing states. With
He got
Donald,
all the swing states.
got all of them, right? Will Donald Trump actually save America? Or no, because I want to ask you something about tariffs, Dave, in a second. I've been looking into this. I want to ask you about it because I hate the internet is such a hard place to do anything nowadays because there's always somebody just trying to
There's
flip
so
a
much
narrative.
misinformation.
What do y'all think happens now that Donald Trump is in office?
Have you not seen what's already happening?
I've
before
seen
he's
what's
in
already
office?
happening, and I'm
See, I
like,
got a question. I got a
yes.
question about that as well. Do we think that is a coincidence that all of our, because what I seen a video that you put out, Drae,
Mhm.
where it showed all of the foreign powers, many of our enemies are rejoicing what's going on in our country right now. Like, oh my God, Trump's in office. I want stable relations with America. Trump is gonna find a way to end the wars. It's confusing to me. Or let me phrase it like this: does it make sense that all of our enemies are just cool with us now?
Yes, it makes perfect sense. You're looking at it from a 26-year-old's perspective, respectfully. Let me break this down for you, right?
Okay.
I'm 6'1.5", 250 pounds. You know, I done lost 312 pounds. I'm in the best shape of my life. You're going to think differently about the way you talk to me if you see me in person versus my 5'1" wife, 140 pounds. You understand what I'm saying to you? There's a difference. It's not. That doesn't mean that you don't respect her. It just means that I have a bit more of a physical imposition. You might be able to beat me, but I'm going to take an eye. You're talking about somebody who literally met with the head of the Taliban and said, if you don't knock this off, I'm going to bomb your house. And he told the translator to translate it. And the head of the Taliban was like, what the hell? And then Trump reached in his pocket and pulled out a picture of this man's home, the one he didn't think Trump knew about. See, there's a difference between carrying a gun and actually being willing to shoot it. Trump is willing to shoot it. All of a sudden, Hamas, who's doing this situation with Israel, is like, no, we want peace. We don't want no problems. We want to talk. Everybody wants to talk now because they know Trump is going to stop this. Not because he's the best choice, but they don't know what to do with the man who cannot be controlled that easily by the deep state.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they said he's holding a phone call with Putin to stop the war in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm. Which would have never happened. And it didn't happen in the 4 years you were talking about where you felt so tense. Wasn't no new wars under that man.
Well,
and
I'll say this.
Like the dude.
I felt tense all my time. Since I was old enough to realize what was going on, I've been feeling tense. So I'm not going to say it was the most tense. Trump was the most tense that I felt. It was tense the entire time.
I'll get back to that. Because that's a good conversation right there. But now that he's here, because now that majority of the Senate and all these all red all over the place, are we going to be in a place where, because people are going to think he's going to come in and make the world super conservative? I truly don't. Honestly, I'm not a sucker for anything. I rock with RFK Jr. and I'll say that on the platform. And I was going to vote for RFK Jr. until he said, you just vote for Trump instead of voting for me. I'm like, well, that's kind of not fair. I want to vote for you, bro. But my whole thing is this. I truly believe that he's going to get America on track, bro. And even if you go back, I feel like he was the only person ever really concerned about the real problems in America and not the bullshit stuff.
Correct.
I truly feel that in my soul that he's the only person, and I don't care what all the rich people, oh, he's a corrupt billionaire. Okay, everybody who's rich probably had to jump a few loopholes to make more money. And he admitted it and said, he admitted it and said, I abused the tax code just like everybody else did. So I feel like that's the only negative thing they can say about it.
I don't care what the billionaires say. They all presidents use the office to get them and their people rich. That's what happens.
But the thing was, he was the only person whose network went backwards.
But I'm saying they could say that about Trump. That's not a shot at Trump. Trump does that cool. Everybody else did it too.
No.
Time out.
You know what I say?
Time out. I got it.
They use that as a shot. That's lame.
There have been 46 presidents, about to be 47. There's only been one who's lost net worth. One.
Yep. Exactly.
Trump. So the richest guy lost money being president, while the president before him got a $60 million Netflix deal, and his net worth went up by about 850%. So who's corrupt? He didn't need the gig. He didn't even need to come back for the gig.
Yeah.
You know?
And the only thing I hear people saying now, since they don't have any other rhetoric to use or any other narratives to spin, all they can say is the tariffs are going to destroy the economy. Now, this is what I'll say because I've observed both sides. A lot of people are saying different things. Some people say what the tariffs are going to do is they're not actually going to go in effect only on certain industries. We'll use like Toyota. Okay, only Toyota gets hit with the tariff, and what that does is create more jobs over here because they're going to have to start making them here so they don't have to get hit with the tariffs. And then two, some people strongly feel like they saying everyone's going to get hit with the tariff, and then it's going to make the price of everything go up even more because now the businesses over there have to overcompensate for the price of the tariffs. I don't know which one is true. And then there's another saying that he's going to remove income tax in exchange for giving them more tariffs to basically like a power move. You're not going to send shit here for whatever you want because we couldn't do it to you. So we're going to get rid of income tax. But my only question is it that easy to just get rid of federal income tax?
Why wouldn't you? It was that easy to start it in the first place.
Mm.
What are you talking about? Like, it's not that hard. You can start or stop anything at any given time. Trump said he wanted to have a space force. We got a space force. It's not that difficult. Like, there are certain things that can happen. And by the way, this is the problem when people start talking stupidly, right? We're going to tax the rich. Yeah, that's how income tax started because there were so many. You couldn't just come into this country and just sell everything the way you wanted to. But when they started to open up those floodgates, they said, you know what? In order to make up for the losses that we're feeling, we're going to start with taxing the rich. And they taxed the rich to about 90%, and everybody was still living good. Everybody was living high off the hog. And they said, oh, well, we got away with the wealthy. Hey, let's see how else we can go get this money from. And then they went after the middle class. The poor people don't never have no damn money, but they taxed them too. Then after they got rid of that, they went and sent the CIA agent and her operatives, by a woman by the name of Gloria Steinem, and said, you know what? Black women, you're women first before you're black. Why don't you go? You can work for somebody else, even though we had the most stable incomes, the most stable families, the most stable household structure in America, bar none. And they said, you know what? Overnight, we just doubled the workforce, which means we just doubled the taxable income. So when you tell me, oh, well, is it that easy? Stroke of a pen. The same way Biden could have got rid of student loans with the stroke of a pen and then fought it out with the Supreme Court, which he did not do. But he had time to sign 17 executive orders on Inauguration Day. It's very easy. Will it happen? Don't know. But I'm excited about two things. I'm excited about no income tax, and I'm also excited about destroying the U.S. Department of Education.
See, we could talk about that as well because I see all the woke guys. I won't say any names. I'll just call them the woke guys or whatever. My thing is this. Oh, you're going to abolish the Department of Education. I don't think people really know how it works. And I'm not the biggest expert on it, but the whole thing with Black history in schools. This is my take. I'll let y'all say yours. I don't understand why they want the oppressors teaching them Black history any fucking way. So I don't really mind. But Dave, I'll let you talk about what you about to say.
First of all, the
wait, Dave, before you go, because I know you're gonna kick some knowledge.
Go.
Facts.
I'm not nervous. I'm a little concerned because I don't know what comes after that. Because I know that's how a lot of schools do get their funding. So I'm concerned about that part. But I do know that the schools have tons of problems as well. I do want to hear exactly what you think comes next.
Certainly. There's a few things I need you to understand first, right? The U.S. Department of Education is a slush fund. They make $90 billion a year available to the U.S. Department of Education, and that money's going somewhere, and it's not going to the students. For every student they put up, they get about an average of, I think, about 27,000. And don't hold me to the numbers because I'm kind of pulling from memory. I don't have it written in front of me. The other part of that is you get extra money if you have a certain amount of IEPs or people who have, different types of levels of autism, ADHD, all that kind of good stuff. You get more money for that. Right. So the last thing you want to do is put them in a situation where they can homeschool. Right. The other part of that is the kickbacks that the federal government through the U.S. Department of Education give to the different teachers unions then becomes problematic. Now, when that goes away, we can't be naive and think that the federal government is not going to help. What happens is Republicans and conservatives, and even Democrats used to believe this, governments don't need to handle everything for the people. The people are able to govern themselves. Do people not realize that there are 51 constitutions, not just one? There's 51 constitutions. There's the United States Constitution, and every single state in the Union has a constitution. There's a reason for that, because the states are there to govern themselves. And when it comes to a federal level, then they become the United States. Death Row and Bad Boy were on the same, were different labels under the same record company. In other words, Bad Boy's a state, Death Row's a state, interscopes the country. So Once you understand that, then you also have to understand that if you're making or allocating $90 billion per annum and you have not one student in Baltimore who can read at grade level, what's going on with the money? If you have all of this money coming from the U.S. Department of Education, plus you're getting kickbacks from Domino's Pizzas, you're getting kickback from Burger King, you're getting kickback from Coke and Pepsi, you're getting kickback from Frito-Lay, right? Most of those companies also were bought by cigarette companies, so a lot of the stuff that they put in the food is absolutely addictive. How are you mismanaging to that point? But you've got, all of these principals or a lot of these principals making multiple six-figure salaries, if not high five figures, but the children aren't getting any better. You ever see a movie called Lean On Me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, that movie, y'all keep thinking Joe Clark was some type of hero. Joe Clark was the bad guy. They sent him in so that New Jersey could give more funding to East Side High in that school district because they had to raise the test scores. So you are not about educating your child if you send them to public school. You're about making them really good test takers and really good workers, which is what Rockefeller wanted in the first place. So yeah, you want to know what comes next? What comes next is the government will then have a board, and that board will allocate based on performance. It will be merit-based. And then you know what happens with that? The government is going to put the onus on the state to regulate itself. And when they do checks and balances and things aren't checking out, then guess what? Federal funding gets snatched. Y'all figure it out. You got a state budget. That's how that works. And that's how it should work. Also, half of that money could go to everybody who wants to homeschool their kids, like I do with my 9-year-old autistic daughter. Like we do with my 9-year-old autistic daughter. And, you could put some of that money back in the working Americans' pockets that have to be able to take care of their child under a situation that really requires what is called special needs care. Because you tell these children they can be anything that they want. You tell these children to strive for individuality, but then you tell them to conform and act like everybody else. Which is it? That's not education. That's confusion. And the U.S. Department of Education is one of the biggest architects of confusion in America. And if you don't think so, look at the test scores and get back to me. And look at the fact that every single news organization, every single magazine, every single TV show speaks at a 5th grade level, at best in a 3rd grade level on average. So until such time as you can show me where all this education is happening, miss me with your concern about the U.S. Department of Education because it's failing.
Facts.
And that just wraps back to the election. The Democrats spoke to the intellectuals and they won the intellectuals. They lost everybody else.
That's not right, because that's like saying there was some very smart people I'm pretty sure didn't vote Democrat.
No, that's true. But
you think they only spoke to the intellectuals?
No, they won. Yes. I think they didn't speak to the common American. They only spoke to the college-educated American. And I think they lost a lot of people there. Just to wrap that back.
You do realize the majority of the people in the Midwest states are not very educated. They're pretty much hands-on labor, factory workers, farmers. Those people voted en masse for Republicans. The Democrats only spoke to the lowest common denominator with fear.
Yeah.
Everything is fear. It's not about, because you can't, do me a favor, put your hands like this.
Trump spoke with hope. That's a fact.
But Trump also spoke with policies that he's had since 2022. But put your hands like this for a reason. Name me 3 policies that the Democrats ran on for president.
This one? This election?
This election. 3.
Abortion.
Abortion.
What about it specifically? The policies, not the title, the policy.
Honestly, nothing. They was like, we're going to protect your rights, and they never really explained it.
Okay, cool. Because by the way, abortion got overturned. Roe versus Wade got overturned in 2022. Trump wasn't the president. And they can say it was his Supreme Court all they wanted to. But if you're in there and you're saying on day one, you're going to force Congress to write a bill in order to bring back the protections of Roe versus Wade, why didn't you do it then? What else you got? You said abortion. Give me a policy because we haven't had one yet. Keep going. I asked for 3.
I'm going to be honest.
Assault weapons bans?